This is not, we're number one in all those categories. It'd be damn nice if our homegrown teams start focusing on what's right. Everybody outside this state is about this state because of our success, and I'm proud of it. I'm not naive about our competitive liabilities, and that's why we're trying to address them. But I also think there's a lot to be proud of in this American dream, of which there's only one state with its own, and that's the California dream. Forgive me, Stephanie, I think it's still alive and well.
John Phillips is here. He's the host of KABC in LA and also a writer at the Orange County Register. John, how are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, really good to talk to you. First, your prediction. Do you think Gavin Newsom will be recalled on September 14th?
Well, I think you saw everything in that last clip you just played where Andrew Dice Newsom is starting to feel the heat. Recent polls have this race within the margin of error. And whenever you have something like a recall with the framing that goes along with it, anytime there are undecided voters, you have to assume they're going to break against the incumbent. I mean, think about the question. A relationship with a governor is like a marriage. If someone were to come to you and say, what do you think about your marriage? Do you think about dissolving it right about now? And you were to say, I'm unsure, that means yes. So I'm going to add all the undecideds into the yes category, which currently has this thing passing by a narrow margin. I would have told you last week that Gavin Newsom is the most unpopular governor in the country, not named Andrew Cuomo. Now I can tell you Gavin Newsom is the most unpopular governor.
I'm totally with you, and we've talked about this before, until they did the automatic mail-in ballots, where everybody gets a ballot. And there's so much corruption there, people knocking on doors, hey, did you get a ballot? And people saying like, wait, what? What's a ballot? And now they can just print them out and just sign this, and they can just grab as many ballots as they can and knock on as many doors. And I just feel like that's too difficult of a hurdle to overcome. Walk me off that ledge.
Well, in politics, you always have to worry about the laws of unintended consequences. And when you look at the internals of these polls, there's a few things that jump out at you. First and foremost, 54% of Latinos want Newsom recalled. Part of the reason that they went to this all vote by mail election was that they wanted to increase Latino turnout, assuming that Latinos would come out heavily for Newsom, as they did the last time he ran for governor. Well, if these polls are accurate, what they did is going to backfire. Because for a lot of people who typically vote Democrat, who are upset at the shutdowns, they're upset that schools haven't had on-campus instruction for a long period of time, he's made it very easy for them to punish him by just taking their ballot from the mail, filling it out, putting it back in the mail, and sending a message to Sacramento. I really do think that if Latinos end up going against him on Election Day, he's done.
Wow. Do you think people are paying attention? Do you think people in California are paying attention? Like, you and I, we're in the game. We're in the business, right? So it's easy for us to think that everyone's as in it as we are. Do you think the average / below average person in California is actually paying? And I don't mean like below average, intellectually. I just mean like, just your average person in California. Do you think they are really paying attention and even know who Gavin Newsom is?
Well, I had a long talk yesterday with the Democratic numbers cruncher. And he said that based on all of his research, and this is reflective of what I see around the state, what I hear from my listeners, is that Republicans are actively paying attention. They're motivated. They want this guy gone in the worst possible way. But you can fit all the Republicans in the state in a phone booth, so that doesn't matter. The question is, what do Democrats do? And right now, Democrats are apathetic about Newsom. Some of them are mad at him because they thought that he reopened the state too soon, if you can believe that. Others work in industries that were totally decimated by his policies. And even though they have partisan inclinations, they say, wait a minute, I couldn't operate my restaurant. I couldn't go to work to Disneyland or the movie theater or my restaurant, whatever. And so those people are mad at him for different reasons. So he's taking incoming fire from all sides, and that's put him in a very precarious situation.
For people who don't live in California and maybe don't know much about Gavin Newsom, give us a little history. What do we need to know about Gavin Newsom? Apparently with Cuomo, all we need to know is he's Italian. That explains everything, all the touchy-feelies and everything. What do we need to know about Gavin Newsom?
Gavin Newsom is a guy who comes from San Francisco, an old-time San Francisco family. He's tied into all of the big political families from that area, the Pelosi's, the Browns. Willie Brown certainly was the one who first appointed him to the San Francisco County Board of Supervisors, which is also their version of the city council. And he's really been the golden boy. The Gettys, which are the rich family from San Francisco, the benefactors of Democratic politics up there, they certainly molded him, and they helped finance his campaigns and pushed his career. He always had aspirations of going to the highest levels of the political system. Governor of California is not where he wants to end up. He wants to be president someday. He wants to go on to bigger and better things. And if he loses this election, that's over. He's going to have that big L branded on his forehead for the rest of his career. So if he is putting all of his eggs in this basket, which is part of the reason why the Democrats were so adamant about making sure that no other big name Democrat put their name on the ballot in question 2. They are all in on Newsom. He's going to win this thing in his mind, move on to re-election, and then it's all about the White House.
Wow. That was deep and insightful. I want more of that. Like, subscribe, get more.